we'll use the word when because I want to be confident.
Okay.
But I'm not going to use a timeline. But when the Coyotes 2.0, maybe when an Arizona NHL team 2.0 returns here, should they still be the Arizona Coyotes? I'm really curious what the chat thinks. Danielle, can we put a poll in the chat? Would you call 2.0 the Coyotes? Danielle's going to put a poll in the chat, but Craig, I know you have thoughts, so take it away.
I do. I was talking about this with Mark McClune the other day when I was on his show, and Mark McClune dropped Firebirds as well. And I'm just like, buddy, that is exactly what comes to mind for me. I will say this. And I have no idea if this is going to happen. Okay. So please don't read the tea leaves, read between the lines here. If Shane Doan is involved, I think the Coyotes probably would come back because it means something to him. If anybody gets to decide whether the Coyotes get to come back or not, it should be Shane Doan. But if Shane Doan is not involved, I wonder then if a new owner should consider, as we just talked about earlier, wiping the slate clean, getting rid of the Coyotes past, for how great that logo is, for how great that name is too, because it is a great nickname. There's a whole lot of bad juju associated with the Coyotes. So you might want to just say, we're going to push that to the side, rebrand, and just pretend that chapter never happened. So if that happens, what are the nicknames that we should consider? I threw a few at you. I don't know that you have any favorites here, Leah, but you can take it from here.
So I do love Firebirds, and that does seem to be, the general consensus in the chat, and we'll get the results of the poll after people have time to vote, which please go vote and hit the like button on this video while you're here, by the way. Seems to be keep the Coyotes. And, we saw JJ Watt's tweet as well saying that for the logo alone, it seems like any JJ Watt involved group, if that were to be a thing, he would want to keep that as well. I do think that if the Coyotes were resurrected, that they would need to hire some witch or some person who can perform a cleansing ceremony of the aura associated with Arizona or Phoenix Coyotes. What? Oh, Craig might have frozen. I'll just keep going. But if not for the Coyotes, I am a strong proponent of Firebirds because of what it represents. First of all, the city of Phoenix is so aptly named Phoenix, rising from the ashes. What better way to capture what a 2.0 team would be than rising from the ashes, like what the Firebirds would mean, whether it be the Phoenix Firebirds or the Arizona Firebirds. I know some people were saying, well, the Coachella Valley Firebirds are a team. There's plenty of crossover between names. They can both be named that. I think it's fine. There's multiple Kings and Cardinals and all of that across many different leagues. Some people saying Arizona Phoenix might be too much of a tongue tie, but Craig, I did put your idea. You were really excited about the Firebirds. I did use a little bit of AI to imagine what a potential Arizona or Phoenix Firebirds logo would look like. So we can take a look at what the AI produced. This one put a volleyball in there for some reason. I said a sports logo, so you can put a hockey puck there, but I like it.
Or a stick. Put a stick in his talons.
Yeah, I like it. So let's take a look at some of the others. I feel like there's a lot of, you can go a lot of directions with this branding.
You definitely can. I love this.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So here's another one. If you're listening on audio, head over to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel to take a look at these. That's all the Firebirds ones I had. What other name ideas did you have, or do you want to also give your pitch for why you like Firebirds?
Well, I just think thematically it fits so well, right? They'd be rising from the ashes of the old team. So, I mean, it's the perfect narrative, right? If you bring the team back. Again, I'm okay with the idea of Coyotes. It's not like I'm opposed to it. And if Shane's involved, absolutely. I just wonder if a new owner would come in and say, hey, I'm not so sure about that. But Firebirds, it works. It works on so many levels. And I think you can have a lot of fun with the logo and the design as well. I do have two other names that I've always loved for this city. I'm not sure there's widespread support for these, but we're in this age now where teams are coming up with pretty original nicknames like the Kraken, like Yeti. Where's Eric Ruby? So here are two that I've always loved that are native to Arizona. First off, the Gila Monsters. Did you plug helium? Oh, you did. Wow, that's freaky looking.
Yeah, the AI, the Gila monsters in AI wasn't great. And yes, people are making fun of AI's spell check. This next one will make you laugh. Let's take a look at it. The Healy motors, according to AI. But the only problem I have with Gila monsters, Craig, is that the Las Vegas mascot Chance is a Gila monster.
Yeah, so what? No, I do. I actually like that illustration of a Gila monster right there. That's pretty cool. Did you just do 2, or is there another one?
I just did 2 because the Gila monster results were not great.
Spelling is hurting my eyes, by the way. That's brutal. Like what's going on there? Anyway, the other one that I like, Scorpions.
Well, we did have the Arizona Sting of the National Lacrosse League at some point. This one's kind of scary. It's not my favorite, but the second one I like a lot better, especially with the palm trees in it. I think the Scorpion itself would need to be a little less involved, but I actually don't mind this logo.
Again with the spelling, Scorpions. What's going on here, AI? What's going on here? But I think there's some potential in all of these names. I'm curious what people think about these 3, or if they have other ideas. Do you have other ideas? Does Danielle, now that her beloved Oilers have
Oilers fan for as long as she can remember. Roaring Fork said the haboobs. I mean, listen, the dust storm, the storm, I know Carolina would have something to say about it, but there's a lot of good branding you could do with dust storms and the color dust.
Not Haboob.
No, not Haboob. Tom in the chat earlier said, buy the Roadrunner name and likeness and the new color scheme with the Columbia blue and silver. Old school Roadrunners fan, and there are plenty of them in Arizona.
I could definitely get behind that as well, reviving the Roadrunners. I think that's really cool because that's the original pro franchise in the Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve says Arizona Heat. I mean, that would certainly work. It's like we said already, there's already the Kings in the NHL and NBA. Can't see why there couldn't also be the Heat. I do like the idea of there being something separate. I see Arizona Monsoon. I don't mind that either. Again, the storm thing. We have the cactus. The freaking lizards. That makes me laugh. Phoenix Scorch, except for the fact that Craig is adamantly against non-plural names, so not sure.
For that reason, and I don't know what heat is really, how you illustrate that. It just doesn't work for me. If you're going to go with a singular name, at least make it like a being of some kind for me. That's sort of my bare minimum. Like when we talk about the Minnesota Wild, I'm like, what is it? I what it is.
It has to be a thing, not a concept.
Yes.
No conceptual names.
Yes.
I got a couple.
Oh, Danielle has a couple.
The Javelina.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool. I prefer Thunderbirds over Firebirds personally. The Sugar Skulls. And then I threw in the Monsoon just for you, Craig.
Okay. I like that.
Good too. You could have fun with javelinas.
Yeah,
Do you guys know what a group of javelinas is called?
No.
It's called a squadron. So
Feels very appropriate. They cause a lot of trouble, I will say.
Absolutely do. Just ask Kevin Connaughton in that story I wrote years ago for.
Oh my God. Yeah. By the way, I like this suggestion in the chat as well. Rename to Kachinas and keep the logo. That's something that's interesting. We already have the Arizona Kachinas, the girls program here. They use the same Kachina logo. That's not a bad idea. I do think the best argument to be made for keeping Coyotes, besides continuity, is just the logo and the jersey being one of the best in the history of the NHL, and it would just be so unfortunate to lose that.
Yeah, it would. I agree with that. The Kachinas thing is really interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, these are Arizona wrong way drivers.
Why is that a thing?
Wait, the Arizona Snowbirds? The Howlers? Bring back Howler. Miss him. Keep putting your names in the chat. Very, very curious to hear what everybody thinks. I do think in the end I am team keeping it Arizona Coyotes. But I do think there would need to be some sort of like cleansing happen. Like whoever's responsible, or if it's Shane Doan involved, then I am 100% behind the Arizona Coyotes, and I'm open to Phoenix Coyotes if the arena ends up in Phoenix.
Sign me up for Phoenix Coyotes. I like that better.
By the way, the results of the poll, very, very close. 166 votes. 54% say no, the team should not be rebranded, so keep the Coyotes. 47% say yes. So actually way closer than I thought. Seems to be a little bit of a split there.